something a little bit different off of my shelf as a game to play next. Kind of done with dice for the moment. Descent, I think, had all of my dice rolling skills on display. Wanted to try something a little, you know, something different flavor, and this is Space Infantry. I have been looking to add more games designed exclusively for solitary play. Seems like I have a lot of games that are cooperative, that you can play solo, or I have games that have a solo variant included in them, but I don't have very many games sort of with the soloist in mind, right? Designed for us lone wolves. So I've been kind of, you know, peeking around, seeing what's out there as far as solo games. And this one got recommended to me. I picked it up a while ago, and I'm just now opening it up and figuring out how to play it. Now, this game kind of has a feel of a war game to it. I haven't played any war games, so that's just my uninformed opinion, but I kind of get that vibe from it. All right, I kind of get that vibe from it. Also reminds me a little bit of D-Day dice with the way the missions are laid out. So first off, the rule book is a little bit dense, all right? It's black and white. There are lots and lots of words. Not a lot of pretty colorful pictures that, you know, I think I'm sort of used to in more of the tabletop type games. But there's a lot of game in here. I'm really surprised with how much game came in this box. Okay, a bunch of little, you know, those little, what are they called? Chips or cardboard tokens. All right. But this is the meat and the heart of the game. This is really cool. So, like I said, kind of like D-Day dice, you have all of these different missions that the game comes with, okay? There are, I believe, 10 of them, I want to say. There's 10 of them in here. They're double-sided, okay? And they lay out these different, what are called nodes. And in this game, you advance through these nodes, encountering different events, trying to reach an end goal. So this is the first mission. We're trying to investigate the scientific labs on Zarnon 4. There are 3 labs, 1, 2, 3, that we have to get to and investigate in order to win this scenario. And every scenario has different requirements, and you'll need to draft your own specialized team for each mission. So it looks like a lot of this game happens kind of before you even start playing, right? You set up your squad, you set up their abilities. You're allowed to take a couple items with you, so you want to decide, do I want grenades or medipacks, right? What am I going to need to survive this mission? And once you build your squad and your equipment, you launch, you go. You see how far you can get, all right? So there's 10 missions, which is, you know, nice. But what I think is really cool is that they give you 4 different opponents, really, right? These are the beasties you're battling. You've got the robots, the mutants, the dark gods, and flesh eaters, okay? So these will all play differently. So you could run the missions with each of these, right, separately, and get a totally unique feel. So already, that's kind of like 4 different games you've got going on right here. But wait, there's more, because it also comes with these really cool little cards. They're just little, kind of thick cardstock cards, and they say the Hive. And the way the Hive works is you turn them over, and you randomly generate your own little path of adventures. And of course, how these come out are going to change how the game plays, right? Add on to that, you can change which little nasties live in this hive. So you have a whole nother game that has a really nice replayability to it. But wait, there's more. On the top of just the missions or just the hive, the last part of this rule book covers a campaign. How cool is that? So there are these really nifty little sheets back here that you can fill out, and you can upgrade things and gain experience points and different abilities. You can do this either playing through the missions. Jovian War Prelude is your first campaign, and that uses the base mission maps. Or you can run a campaign called Inside Enemy Lines, and that's a campaign inside the hive. All right. So you got a bunch of different options here for this game once I think, you know, you figure out how to play it. And there are no dice in it. This is a game where you are drawing tokens. You're just drawing tokens. And the numbers you get are the numbers you have to make do with. Hopefully, maybe, I'll have a little better luck with this. Yeah, like I said, it's a little bit different from what I usually play, but it's a solo game. I'm up for that. So I haven't played it yet. I thought I would break it out, kind of, you know, quickly read through the rules, and then run through mission 1. Let's see if we can investigate these labs and find out why communication went down. Let's set up for mission number 1. Okay, now this is the intro mission, so we will not be playing with the advanced rules, all right? Those get phased in as you progress through your mission. So for some of this stuff I'm going to be doing, we'll have to modify it later on, but for the learning mission, all right, for the learning mission, we're ready to go. So what I've done is taken our little squad command token, stuck it on start. There are a couple of locations that have little icons, all right? And these are things you can find. So in this mission, we are investigating the scientific labs on Zargon 4. Communications with the labs was lost over 2 months ago. Don't know what happened in these labs, but we are going to find out. Now, there are 3 of them. All right. There's 2 buildings. Okay. Building 1 houses laboratory number 3, and building 2 houses laboratory number 1 in number 2. Okay. As we wander through these buildings, we will be picking up. We have 3 places we could pick things up. We can find information in the computer banks. We can find grenades here in, I guess, the armory, and we can find a medic pack in one of the laboratories. All right. So these are things we can pick up and carry with us. All right. The other thing you'll see are these little dotted lines, and these are the different ways we can go. There are 2 places where there's a potential of having a door locked, okay? And it says when the squad reaches a node, these are all called nodes, right? That's adjacent to a link with a security door, we have to draw an RN or a random number, all right? On a result of 3 or less, the door is locked and we can't travel through here, and we're going to have to backtrack. And all we have to do is explore all 3 of the laboratory nodes. Doesn't sound too bad, right? Doesn't sound too bad. So in order to advance to a node, in order to explore it, you have to meet the requirements, all right? A lot of these say advance, but there are a few specialty requirements in this mission. We will need computer knowledge, repair knowledge, security knowledge in building number 1. Building number 2, we're looking for security again, repair again, science twice, and demolitions. All right, so those are all the special knowledge we need. And with that in mind, we get to build our squad, okay? So every squad comes with the squad leader. He doesn't cost any points to recruit into your squad, he just is. And he only brings command, communication, and intelligence, okay? None of those 3 things are listed on these nodes. So he's not going to help us advance or explore nodes directly. He's going to command us, and so his influence is going to be a little bit indirect. The base team that you come with is Assault Team A and B, all right, and Fire Team and a CC unit, okay. Now, all of these guys have the exact same skills: fire, melee, advanced. That's all they do. They can move us up and they can attack what we find. Different values, different, abilities in that way. But they're only good for one thing aside from fighting, and that's advancing, okay? So any of these nodes that require the advance ability, we're going to be calling on our base team here. These guys have a point count, so the CC unit's the most expensive, but he comes with a shield, so I think he's worth it. So we're at 2, 4, 6, 90 points. All right, we're at 90 points for our base squad, and we're allowed 110. So with those extra points, we are going to recruit 2 specialists. All right. And how you recruit the specialists, well, I guess that's a little bit of the gameplay here. Like I said, I've never run this mission, so we'll see how my choices go. And the specialists, these are the people who are going to get you through the nodes that require a special ability. Computer, repair, security, science, demolition. All right. Unfortunately, they each cost 10 recruit points, so I can only recruit 2 of these guys. And I'm going to go with the scientist and the technician, because they'll bring me science, computer, repair, security, and computer. Okay. What they don't bring is demolition. So when I hit this node, I'm not going to have any skills to unlock it on my team. It's not a problem because we're allowed to bring some equipment from us. But no matter how I pick my specialist, there is a demolitionist, all right? And the problem is if we bring him in, then I lose either science or repair and security, or repair and security. He goes up to a 5. Ugh. I lose computer. So there's something, part of this game, I guess, is the idea that you can't cover all your bases. There's going to be something you're weak in no matter what you do. So for this intro game, I'm going to go with the scientist and the technician. And when we get to demolition, we're going to have to use some of our equipment to get through this node. These guys, however, have the ability to get us through all of the others. Okay? And that pulls our team up to a whopping 110 points. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 110. Right, okay, did the math right. So this is our team. This is our team, all right? These guys are ready to go. Okay, and our 2 specialists, great. All right, so this is done. But let's see, something disrupted communication with the lab. Let's find out what it is. Right here, the last 2 pieces of the game. Remember how I said there were 4 different aliens you can battle against? I stand corrected. These are double-sided sheets. There are a ton. I think there's a total of 6. And I found the flesh eaters because they seemed like the most typical alien out there. I thought we would start with them. So we're going to pull out their info sheet. All right. They some of them have a special ability with this little square, so their scouts are gonna have this ability. They also have warriors, and they have the queen, all right? They have this enemy presence table that we're going to be checking to figure out what we're running up against, all right? And they have this little range table up here, and that pretty much dictates how the encounter is being fought. Are we hand-to-hand or are we far away? And you need this little token that indicates if you're firing from afar or if you're up close, okay? That's all you do really for the enemy setup at this point. So we'll move that aside. The last thing we set up is the turn track marker. We have 30 turns to complete this mission, and if we don't complete it in time, we fail it. All right. Down here there are a bunch of orders. This is advanced rules. All right. So we're actually not going to pay any attention to this down here. The last thing you'll see is a little spot for our resources. And in the intro mission, we are allowed to take 8 resources with us. And remember, we're going to pick up a couple along the way. So I went for 3 medipacks. These will each heal 1 wound. And they can heal at any time. They can also heal a fatal wound. So if one of our troops takes a fatal wound, we could spend a medipack and negate it right away. All right, so I got 3 of those. I don't know if that's enough, we'll find out. Second off, I picked up 2 grenades. These are cool because you can kind of lob them at the enemy, and if you have a nice big swarm, they will hit all of them, just like a true grenade would. Decided to try 2 of those, and I have 5 info packs, or 5 info packs. No, I don't, I have 3 info packs, and these are interesting. These have a couple of different abilities. The first thing you can do with these is you can spend 1 to gain 2 skill successes, even if you don't have the skill. All right. So remember, we don't have a demolitionist on our team. And so when we hit that node, I'm planning to spend a couple of these info packs to generate automatic skill checks. So we don't have a demolitionist with us, but I guess maybe we have like a demo manual that we can refer to. So you can burn these to get skill checks automatically, even if you don't have that skill on your team. The other thing you can use these for, which is kind of cool, is you can use them as ambush abilities. So I guess we can, use them to kind of scan ahead, see the enemy, and instead of having a simultaneous battle where we hit them at the same time they hit us, you can burn one of your info packs to get an ambush, to get the drop on them. Sounds very cool. And I'm not too sure what the correct ratio of all these items are, all right? I just kind of picked these at random. There are a ton of others that we could take, okay? But these seem like the most basic. And at any time, your squad is only allowed to carry 8, all right? 4 and 4. So we're gonna need to burn some of these before we pick them up off the map. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. Don't think that's gonna be a problem. Okay, so we come with this cool little timer token, and we're just gonna be moving this along the turn track. So let's find out what happened to the scientific labs on Zargon 4. Okay, so let's explore these labs. Now on the start of your turn, you simply put your little time marker onto the turn track. And the first thing you're going to do is attempt to move. All right, we're sitting here on the start token, and we don't have a choice yet. We need to advance here, all right? And in order to move to the next node, you must meet the skill check, all right? So we need an advance of 4 in order to enter this node. How do we decide if we meet that? Well, simply enough, we head over to our squad here, and we look at anybody who has advance. It's going to be these 4 guys, all right? So we're going to throw them in front, and we're going to ask them to move out. And we're going to see how well they do by drawing one of these little chits. And the advanced skill is a number, in this case for Assault Team B. Oh, I'm just going to have to be crazy and make it A and B in order here, sorry. For Assault Team A, he has an advance value of 3, which means we need to draw a little chit here that's a 3 or higher. All right. And as I said before, there's 1 0, there's 1 plus sign in here somewhere, which is hiding from me. There we go. And then there are 3 1s, 3 2s, 3 3s, all the way up to 6. There are 3 6s. All right. Now, interestingly enough, this is kind of a game of fractions, all right? So if we manage to draw a 6 for Assault Team A, we would actually generate 2 advance points, right? 3 goes into 6 twice, okay? So it's kind of a fractions game. 1 out of 3, he only makes a third of an advance point. That doesn't help us. We need a whole advance point, all right? So there is a way to generate 2 skill checks, all right? So anyone with a 3, if they pull a 6, is going to get 2 skill check points. So he can do it for melee. Can't do it for fire. Even if he pulls a 6, that's not going to give him 2 fire points, all right? So 3s are good. 3s are good. The other person who can help us advance is going to be our squad leader, and he has this ability called command, all right? So if we pull a chit for him and he makes his command check, okay, and he can only generate 1 here because his command is a 4, we're going to give him this little command token, all right? He will have generated 1 command point, and he can assign that to anyone in his squad to give him a little boost. Basically, I like to think of it as he's basically barking orders at these guys, telling them to pick it up, get it in gear, all right? So what would that mean? Well, let's say that Assault Team A pulls a 2 for advance, all right? Not quite enough, but he's close. He's really close. He really needs a good kick in the butt to get moving here. We can use this 1 command point, on Assault Team A, bringing his total to a 3. And that will generate us 1 advance point, the needed 1 advance point. Now, if he pulls a 0, there's not much we can do for him. He's done. He totally slept in. He missed the bus. It's not happening. So these command points will add 1. They'll add 1 to whatever you pull for that particular skill check. All right. Unfortunately, the game says you cannot use command points on any skill that has a star next to it. So for our specialists, yelling at our technician to make it happen for a repair isn't going to help. All right, you can yell all you want, you can't repair any faster. Same with security, same with computer. All right. It will help. It might be able to help us in attack. All right, but for now, we're just looking for an advance of 4. So our 2 specialists, they're not going to be able to help us. They don't have any advance ability. That's not what they do. They follow the squad. They don't lead it, is the way I like to think of it. So we moved our turn. Now we're going to do a node skill check. And to that, we're going to pull a random number for each of our 4 units here. All right. So the commander is going to be an inefficient commander this turn. He's not a scary yeller. Plus sign. Nice job, Assault Team A. That means we get to pull 2 chits and add them together. A 1 and a 4. Awesome. Awesome. So his command was a 3, or his advance, sorry, was a 3, so he absolutely totally made it. Assault Team A is ready to move out. Assault Team B, ready to move out. Fire Team, how you doing? Ooh, Fire Team is ready to go. We're in a CC unit. Come on. Come through for me. Yes. Okay. So what we have done is we have generated the needed 4 advance points, right? All of our units made their advance check, except for the squad leader, but he didn't need to. He didn't need to. So we have satisfied the requirements of this node. We hit advance 4. What happens if you don't make it? Keep watching. I'm sure I'm going to fail one of these, all right? So we're going to move into the first node. Now, as soon as you do that, we're going to clear off all these chits, all right? And this is kind of interesting because the rules were not really clear on when you have to return these to the bowl. It says at the end of a phase. What is a phase? Where is that defined? Yeah, it's not. I was sneaking around the forums and I think it was the designer who got on and said, it's your call when the end of the phase is, all right? And that's one way to kind of help you play the odds with these. And I'll show you what I mean a little bit later. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. I think this comes up mostly in battle, and that's probably going to happen here real soon. Okay, but once we are done with a phase, we're going to return these to the bin. And that's going to be the end of my movement phase, so I'm going to throw them all back in. So we managed to advance. Nicely done. Whenever you enter a new space that you've never explored before, you must do what's called an encounter check. All right, and that's this tiny little number under here. It says a 1/A. So we are going to do a random number draw. If it's a 1, we're going to have an event. What type of event? An A event. So before we get there, let's just see what happens. Let's see how lucky I am. Events, by the way, not so great. 4. Okay, good job, good job. And so no event happens. So we enter this node outside these buildings and we don't trigger anything. It all is quiet. Great. So at this point, we have explored this node. All right. That can become important later if we ever need to backtrack. We've explored the node. We have not, however, triggered an event. Okay. So I'm going to put a little token here that tells me I have explored this node. If we had triggered the event, I would replace this token with an event token. You can only have one event. Okay? One event only. So after you trigger an event, you don't have to worry about re-triggering it. All right? We successfully explored our node. Nothing happened. All is quiet. And our turn ends. Next turn. Track marker up 1. Kabam. Now, all right, now we got to start thinking. Which way do we want to go? All right, which way do we want to go? These darn locked doors are everywhere. So what I think I might do, I'm going to go through these labs out of order. What do you think about that? Or should I do it in order? Let's do it in order. Let's do it in order. So I can head into building 1 and up to laboratory 3. There's a chance, though, that the security door is locked. And if it is, we're going to have to backtrack and head all the way around, and that's going to eat up a bunch of turns. Okay. Now, the other thing I could do is I could head into building 2, hit laboratory number 1, check for a lock on the security door. If it's not locked, head into the lab. If it is locked, backtrack around. Okay. So just to show you, I think for giggles, let's head into building 2. Let's head for the first lab. All right, let's head for this first lab. So we're going to attempt to move into this node. All right. This is not an advanced node. This is a security node. So my base team is not going to be able to help me there. I need to go to my specialists. All right. And only one, the technician, has the security ability, right? Has an asterisk, so my squad leader is not going to be able to help him with a command point. Technician is going to have to do this one on his own. And already you see the problem, right? I need 3 successes to enter this node. And I've only got one dude trying desperately to pick the lock. So this is going to take a couple of turns. First turn. All right. Let's pull one, see what happens here. Oh, what a great technician. Beautiful, a 6. So that's going to generate me 2 successes. Not enough to get through the door, but successes, once earned, stay on the board. All right. And to remember this, there are these lovely little tokens over here. And I'm going to pull a 2, and I'm going to stick it here. To remind me, I have generated 2 of my needed 3 successes. Okay. I could leave here. I could decide, well, actually I changed my mind. I want to go for lab 3. Those 2 are just going to hang out on the board, waiting for me to come back. Okay. But even though I got 2 successes, didn't get enough to enter this node. All right. The tumblers are turning, but we haven't quite accessed this security door. So we can't move. If you don't move, you're going to have to enact your current location. All right. Now, we've explored our location, so we don't have to worry about the advanced 4. Unfortunately, all was quiet when we entered here. But we've been here a whole turn, right? Maybe something has sensed our presence. So because we haven't had an event yet, we're going to trigger this event, what would you call it? Requirement again, okay? Now, this is where it gets interesting. Do I need to return my 6 to the cup at this point? I could if I wanted to. I could say, well, that was the end of my skill check and now I'm doing an event check. Or if I like, I can leave it there and pull from the cup. That's 1 6 that's not in there, right? So you do have a little bit of wiggle room. Not that big a deal. I'll throw my 6 back in. Give them a good mix and let's see if we pull an event. 5. Okay, still quiet. Still quiet out here. No one's detected us yet. Still explored, but no event. End of turn. Let's tick this up one. Okay, again, we're going technician. We're still going for that security. And we need just 1 more success to get through this door. A 2. Shoot, he didn't make it. There's no way to boost this. That just is what it is. He's just taken a little longer than we like. Event check. Has anyone detected us yet? The longer we stay. Oh, awesome. A plus. So I'm going to draw 2, and as long as I don't draw a 0 and a 1, I'm okay. 2 and a 5. Great. No one's found us. Tick up the event track again. Security. Come on, technician. You got to get us through this door. 5. Awesome. We did it. Okay. So we hit our requirement of 3 security. We'll pull that off. And we're going to advance into that node. Kabam. All right. Of course, there's a chance, right, that something's going to happen. Chances are a little bit higher if we pull a 1 or a 2. We trigger an event. Let's see. How are we going to do this? A 2. Darn it. All right. So We enter through the security door, and something is there.